Hi, this is Mohammed Tuhami, and welcome to a new episode of the Midway Simplicity Show, where I invite simple living advocates to share with you a few tips that are practical and that are not too harsh for your lifestyle and can help you simplify the 5 most important aspects of your life, which are time, things, health, finances, and relationships. And today my very special guest is LJ Ernest from Simple Productivity blog, and she thinks that life shouldn't be that complicated. And I agree. Welcome, LJ.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit about your blog and the philosophy behind your work. You said in your blog that simpler equal more productive equal more time for my stuff. So I'm interested to hear about that philosophy.
This has evolved over many years, but what I've discovered is that as life gets more complicated, things get added in, and as life gets more complicated, there's less time to do the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
There's all the obligations of things I need to do. And by boiling those down to the very essence of what there is and getting rid of all the complications, I have more time to do the things I want to do.
Yeah.
And so by stripping away the extra on the tasks, you get things through faster and more efficiently, which is naturally productivity. So that's where that comes from.
Interesting. So tell us how to start by simplifying our time.
The one thing that I always recommend is that people do one thing at once. If you single task, you may spend some more time doing, it may seem like you're spending more time because you're focused on the one task, but you're actually spending less time overall.
Yeah.
If you are trying to do two things at once, both of which that require your concentration and focus, your brain is actually slicing back and forth between the two. And it takes more time to do those transitions than it does just to focus on what you're doing.
Yeah.
So single tasking is probably the easiest way to get simplicity when it comes to time management.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. So let's move to health. And I don't know if you have a magic relation between productivity and health. Interested to know.
I don't think it's all that magic. What I find is that in the U.S. there's a lot of junk that can be eaten. There's a lot of fast food. There's a lot of sweets, high fat, high salt. And what I find is when I eat junk, I feel like junk, and I don't get anything done. So the simplest way to get simpler and to be more productive is to eat more fruits and vegetables and to drink more water. That's not magic.
Yeah. In fact, health advice is very easy, but I don't know why people tend to neglect or ignore these simple health tips.
I think because it's easier, fruits and vegetables are less glamorous than, a prepared meal. Water's less glamorous than soda or coffee.
Yeah. And sometimes people are waiting for complicated solutions to feel that it's real. They don't think that simple changes can do a big difference. But that's the beauty of simplicity anyway. Once you try to simplify small things or little things in your life, you can see greater results, and that's the beauty of simple living.
I agree.
Yeah. So let's move to things. How to maybe declutter, organize, or use our stuff to be more productive, maybe.
I am a big advocate of getting rid of stuff that doesn't either A, make you happy, or B, serve some sort of real purpose.
Yeah.
People hang on to things that have bad memories. And all that does is that just brings up bad energy. I believe you should get rid of everything that isn't really useful.
Yeah.
Clutter accumulates as soon as you turn your back. And it doesn't matter how vigilant you are. I mean, I've been decluttering for years, and I turned around. I was reading a book the other day. I turned around and I looked at my living room with fresh eyes, and I'm like, wow, where did all this stuff come from? So I just think that it's really important to get rid of everything that you don't necessarily love or use regularly.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very important, I believe, let's say, I think it's a habit more than it's to be selective and don't and aware of what comes into your life and what goes out.
Right.
Yeah. I believe it's controlling the flow. If things that are going out is more than what's coming in, then your life will be simplified.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So let's move to the one of the most appealing areas to people, which is finances, and how we can simplify our money matters.
Well, it's funny that you should bring up, because my answer to that has to do with getting rid of the things. Mm-hmm. I'm a big believer in when you bring something into your house, you need to bring something else out.
Yeah.
And that simplifies my finances, because when I'm shopping and I see something that I don't necessarily need, but I want, the first thing I think of is, well, what am I going to get rid of to make room for this?
Yeah.
And if I don't want to give anything up, that means I don't need to buy.
By rule. And that's a rule, firm rule. Yeah.
Yes.
Very good.
And so if I don't buy, I don't spend, and I have more money.
Great. That's a smart tip, by the way. So now to an important area that most people tend to ignore when it comes to simplicity, which is relationships. How can we simplify our relationships?
This goes back to my time management. I believe in single tasking when it comes to relationships as well. By giving 100% attention to the person I'm with and single tasking on that, it's more meaningful. I have a fairly young daughter, and when she comes home from school, she wants to talk and share her day, and she's all excited. But if I'm busy doing something, she realizes the attention's not there, and the interaction isn't as strong as if I would just sit down with her and, listen to her.
Yeah.
So I think that really being present with the person that you're with is a good way to build relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good and important tip, I believe. Now, tell us a little bit more about your blog and what are you doing there and how people can find more about you and learn from you.
Well, my blog is found at simpleproductivityblog.com. There's no spaces or underscores. Yeah. I've been writing there probably for about 5 years. I had it grew out of a blog that dealt with Palm PDA software. And when the Palm started going away and I realized I wasn't just focused on that anymore, I decided to branch out. Yeah. I try to write, one productivity article a week, one simplicity article a week. The rest of the days, it's kind of a free-for-all. Usually applicable tips. I'm a very sort of practical person, and I like to write things that are usable.
Yeah.
So, if you head over there, you'll see that there's headers with productivity, simplicity, and everything's spelled out. So, hopefully people will be able to find things.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being my guest in the show today, and I really hope to see you again in another show.
Oh, thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.